Welcome everyone to the newest episode of the Tumult Trials. Tonight we have a Pauper or common only Sigismar deck. I'm pretty excited to play this. I enjoy whenever we get to play Pauper decks against people's actual decks. It's a real challenge, but it really makes you think about like even deck building normal decks and like just knowing what happens when you lose rares and uniques changes your perspective on a lot of things. Uh, Before we like get into the deck tech, I do want to talk about the like history of this because it kind of explains the thought process on why I picked each of the factions heroes for the different Pauper decks. If you haven't seen them, there's a few other on my YouTube channel. So, when I originally wanted to make an Ordis Pauper deck, I actually tried Waru. I just found it very challenging to play and win. So, I was like, okay, I'll try Golrong because I would like to not use the starter deck hero. Golrong fared a little better, but it was still very challenging. So I finally tried Sigismar, and after a single game, I was like, okay, we have to play Sigismar just because it feels better to play with commons only. And I think the reason for that is the heroes that work best right now in a deck that only has commons are the heroes that give you some kind of air quotes free advantage. Sigismar gives you a 1/1/1 character, Traced gives you card advantage once you get 5 counters on them, Finn gives you card advantage naturally, and like those are the ones that have felt the best so far because you'll see in the deck list a lot of card draw or like a lot of things certain decks use are from out of faction rares or the rare version of their cards, and when you take all that away, it just you become very limited on specific things. So let's get into the hero and the deck list and you'll kind of like understand what I mean. So Sigismar and Wingspan is an Ordis hero that says at noon, create an Ordis recruit 1/1/1 soldier token in your hero expedition. So it gives you a body for free. And right off the bat, if you know the game at all, you'll notice that we have basically no way to draw cards or resupply basically at all. Now, part of that's like choice. There's I think there's at least one more character that like draws cards if their expedition doesn't move over or it doesn't move at dusk. The only thing we have that draws cards really is Ozma, but I wanted to go for kind of like the very typical token build to see if card draw mattered in this go wide strategy if you're playing like a common only deck. Otherwise, it's pretty typical. Ordis troopers to kind of fill out the low end, some gatekeepers and cadets and things that make the recruit tokens, things that get bigger because you have a lot of characters. We are playing the errated Robin Hood, mostly because I didn't want to change the list after I had already built it, but also I just want to see how it plays if we end up drawing one of the two. I have opinions about this. If you didn't see it, we had a whole discussion video come out on YouTube where I talk about the changes and what I like and dislike about it. And then otherwise, it's just like some disruption, a couple charges because you should be charging to end the game essentially, and then more ways to make the token characters. So just very hard, go wide strategy. It really cannot be overstated how much changes when you don't have out of faction rares. I think out of all the ones that like all the Pauper decks that don't have any card advantage, I think this one will be decent. Like you say, Sayonara. But that's enough talking about the deck. Let's get into some games. Welcome everyone to the newest episode of the Tumult Trials. We are trying to see how a Pauper or common only Sigismar deck would fare. Okay, I'm pretty sure we have 3 teamwork trainings. They're playing. If this is stall Akesha. Okay, we're gonna get rid of the teamwork training. We're going to. Interesting. So we're gonna get a 1. Okay. We're gonna do this. I don't know. I almost never keep 2 of the same card on my opening hand, and like maybe that's a mistake sometimes. So do we think they can beat us on both sides? I think just in case I have to play both sides, because if I put everything on the hero side and they have like I think it's the Catagrin Alchemist, it would get big enough to stop us from moving. So at least this way, like, hopefully they have to make a choice. Ugh, my back. Okay, they made a choice. I'm okay with this choice. We both moved. Okay, interesting. When an opponent draws food, I think they're just gonna draw more cards because that would be kind of crazy, or it'd be good. Okay, we're gonna get rid of one of the sticky note seals. We're gonna see what they do. They might just say after you, and then they might not draw any cards. They could have this. This might be the worst hero for like a common only tech to go up against though. Because like, if they just keep disrupting us, which they totally could, we don't have the card advantage to like refill our reserve or our resupply or anything. Interesting. Okay, so we're going to use the support ability. We're gonna put it here. We're still going to play Quetzalcoatl, and if they don't draw cards, that's fine. We'll both move. But I'm kind of hoping they do something. Although 2 mana is off you go. I don't have anything to do. That was weird. I have 0 mana. I know we've played this person before. I know they're not new. Maybe they don't play often, but I know they're not new. They also had 180 elo, which, or they had 100 or over 100, which means that they've played enough to. Ooh, okay. I really want characters, but I think, and just in case this is the Katagar, I don't remember what the Yzmir Bastion's called, but just in case it's that deck, we kind of need to keep things in our hand. Or we need to keep the sticky note seals, just in case. Although we are kind of like, We're definitely running into trouble now. Okay. I mean, maybe we're still both gonna move. If the Quetz is stopping them from drawing cards, no, they are drawing a card. We can't tie them, but I don't think they can play anything. No, they might be able to. They may be thinking of after Ewing me, I guess. They could draw another card, because it's not gonna, like, I'm not gonna beat them. But maybe they're worried I have, like, a 1-drop or something, but little do they know, I don't. We didn't draw our 1-drops. So, like, speaking of the Robin Hood errata, I think it's, like, actively bad now in the situation we're in. Like, I don't think they're going to be playing a bunch of 1-cost cards. And we can't even run the rare version, so it's, like, it's even more awkward. Okay, I still don't know if they're playing category. So I kind of still want to keep this. Okay, we're gonna discard one of our cards that actually helps us win. I feel like the aircon didn't come on. I'll check, or the heater didn't come on. I'll check after this game. So, what are they doing? Now, we have options. We can sabotage and yeah, I mean, I'm gonna sabotage. I'm honestly gonna, a 1/1/1 like just doesn't matter. I'm gonna sabotage the card draw. That might have been wrong, but them drawing into something else is worse than them playing a 1/1/1, in my opinion. Especially because I still can hold up sticky note seals. So, like, when they play this, you're not gonna fail to move, though. I don't think they're playing the category deck. This is a lot of characters for that deck. I feel like that deck basically is like, oh, it's 4 more. Oh my god, I'm so dumb. Misplay. I get, even though I kept this card to deal with the Yzmir Bastion, like every 5 seconds my brain changes which one I think is which between Kellon Burst and Sticky Note Seals, and I kind of hate the design of 3 or less or 4 or greater. I kind of hate it. Okay, they did it. I deserve that. I just, like, I can't remember which one is which ever. Even when I'm, like, looking at it, my brain still tells me it's the opposite. Alright, well, this game will probably end quite quickly now. Although we do have some options. That's a little slow. We are going to... Okay. We're gonna play this because if they play sticky note seals, it's not that, or they're not sticky note seals. Off you go. I'm losing my mind. If this goes in the YouTube video, you can comment on my misplay YouTube, but I don't apologize because I really dislike when the removal in a game's like, is it high cost or low cost? I'm like, I don't know. Okay. I'm not gonna make that mistake again. I am gonna do this though, because if they off you go this, then we just make tokens, which is not amazing, but it's something. Okay. That misplay did probably cost us any chance at this game, though. And they are going to be going first. We can get rid of this. Ooh, open the gate and charge. That's not bad. I think we get rid of the sticky note seals. Although it is common, open the gates. Although it's still a lot of. Man, I wish we could. I wish we could do like all of this. Charging right now does not feel amazing. Okay, they are going to sabotage. I'm actually okay with this. I think we're gonna try to. What's more? So this would be 3, 6. Yeah, I don't actually think it matters. Okay. I'm gonna risk doing this, although just open the gating and charging might be the move. Okay, so we're gonna open the gate. We're gonna save the charge. But I'm pretty sure this doesn't matter. Does not. They just have to play the Baba Yaga. Yeah, that. You know, sometimes you really know when you misread the card. Oh, they're just gonna small. You could have small stepped whenever you wanted. Okay, Auraq Kibble, and I misplayed real hard that last game. Ooh, Robin Hood. They could be so this deck could be playing. I mean, are there really 1-drops that are good in this deck? Besides Martingale, maybe. Yeah, maybe there might be. Okay. Oh, we only have 2 charges though. How many open the gates do we have? This is so awkward. Do I just do nothing? No, we gotta get rid of the open the gates. I think we have 3. Also, I forgot to check the air conditioning. So, I'm going to check on it really fast. I'll just edit this out of the video. It definitely doesn't Nope, it's just cold as shit. Alright. Okay, so from hand, sabotage. From anywhere, you may put a card from your hand in reserve if you do sabotage. Feels kind of like a waste of that card. It's good, but it's also not good on turn 1, on day 1. Cat. Just like ran right into my face. Why would you do that? Why? Hello YouTube, I'm quite cold. Also leading to me thinking I'm not gonna feel super great tomorrow. Because usually I run really hot. But I hope you're doing well. Feel free to like and subscribe if you want to. It's always appreciated. Feel free to comment if there's any hero that you'd be interested in trying as a common only deck. Am I just gonna play Robin Hood? Do I think it's gonna do anything? We're gonna this is the test. We're gonna play a ratted Robin Hood, and we're gonna see if it matters at all. Does this mess them up at all? Because I am skeptical. And this is the earliest we can play it. It didn't matter at all. Good to know. And to be fair, Auraq does have 1-cost characters that it should be playing if you're building it efficiently. Which I don't know if this person did, so like that's part of like, you know, it's just a sample size of 1, which is meaningless, but it did nothing. I think that Robin Hood now is just very, 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 like, the most meta-dependent card in the game. If you play at a store and everyone loves playing 1-cost characters, Robin Hood's the best card in your deck. If no one plays 1-cost characters, because in this game, you literally don't need to play 1-cost characters. Like, you could just start your curve at 2, and it would be totally fine. Then Robin Hood's the worst card in the game. It just like, it's either going to be the best card or the worst card, and there will be no in between. Which is kind of sad. Okay, I'm gonna lean over. I don't know if you can see this, but Nova's on the sofa, just staring at a pillow. He's like just facing the wall, basically. Nova. And he's awake because his ear just moved. Yeah, that's too situational for me because you don't know, like, that's a lot of planning ahead, and a lot of the time those cards aren't used to make things cost like 1. They're used to make, this isn't Lyra, but like in Muna, Bountiful Meadow's not really, it's not in the deck to make things cost 1 or 0, although it is used that way. It's in the deck to make things cost like 2 or 3 or 5. So it's just like too situational. Because if Robin Hood's the only character in your hand and they're not doing that, then like it's just a dead card. And you're not advancing. Okay. Ooh, wait, I can, oh my god, I can draw a card. This is crazy. I can draw a card. We are going to do this one. Wait, can I draw a card? Okay, I can. Yeah, for sure. For, like, I don't think, it was definitely, like, my opinion after, like, talking about it on Thursday and then, like, having the whole weekend to think about it is, like, they 100% needed to do something. I think they did too much. Speaking of Hydrocana, sure hope I draw a sticky note seals now. I think when like, this is true of all games, some stuff has to be bad. Like, especially card games, like, not every card, like you're saying, can be good, right? Like, some cards just naturally have to be bad. But I think I think that makes sense and is perfectly a good design decision when you're designing the cards for the first time. But when you're changing a card to make it significantly worse to the point where it might as well not exist is just like a step too far. I don't know what they could have done. Maybe say can't cost less than 3 or something, and like maybe that's like high enough to where it affects higher plays that matter. But we'll just have to see how it plays out. And like, the more sets come out, the more people might be incentivized to play like 1 and 0 drops, or we might get even more cost reducers and stuff, and then it will get better. I think the card will get better as the game goes on, but just like it feels too extreme of a reaction to me. It feels too big of a pendulum swing. Although it no argument that it was too good before. Okay. I was really hoping we'd draw sticky note seals because they're probably going to play the Hydrocana. Although, I mean, we're doing okay. I think I play the Ordis carrier. I think we... And just... Okay, that was all their mana. So we're just gonna play this. And then we'll both move, and I will figure out if I need to deal with the Hydrocana. I mean, we're doing okay. This Auraq deck does not feel like the efficient, I'm trying to get to 5 counters as quickly as possible deck. This feels like a 1-box brew Auraq deck, which is cool. I love those kinds of decks, but it's definitely not like doing what it should be doing. And there's sticky note seals. So I'm gonna read this again, just so I am positive I know what it does this time. Send to reserve target character with hand cost 4 or more. Discard target permanent with hand cost 4 or more. 7 is higher than 4, right? 4 or more. I'm pretty sure it's higher. Okay, we are going to... Okay, 5, 7, 6. Okay, we are going to my expedition. We are going to play this. Do you have a charge? Okay. So we're definitely not going to move on every side. They're gonna move on that side, which is unfortunate. So I can sticky note seals now, but then they can play both of these. I think I don't need to play this though, because we're not gonna move anyway. Ooh, this is so awkward. Do I just... Yeah, okay. I think you're right. I also just realized it had fleeting. I think they're gonna play the tricksters. Yeah. And okay. It's tough because I could charge. Or I could play this, but that only puts me up 1. I think I have to charge. Just in case they get 2 boost. Because this would only put me to 3, and if they get 2 boost... Yeah, this doesn't feel great, but I think it's what has to happen. It's weird that the boost put on like characters in like a random order instead of just going 1 by 1. Okay. I personally would not have played that if I were them, because now they're down a character that they could have used next turn. They were already at 5 counters. The game's not going to go long enough to get to 10 again, probably. So, we are both going to move, unfortunately. We are ahead, but I was hoping that turn would go a little better. Yeah. They're going to flip into like some crazy unique. It's the only explanation. Okay, we will get rid of this. Okay. Hathor? Okay. It's still free. There's nothing wrong with a free Hathor. But luckily it's not as crazy as it's not as crazy as as it could have been. Kind of wish I was playing Auraq right now, not gonna lie. Sigismar's cool. I think Sigismar is my favorite like Ordis hero, but they're just very straightforward. Golrong's cool too, but like, man, if they ever put ramp in Ordis, it'll be pretty nice. Honestly, we're just gonna keep going here because this doesn't have forest, and like I don't know what's in their hand, but I need forest, so with Water being knocked off Tad, I think it knocks the Ordis down a tad, which makes you also want to try Sigismar. Yeah. I mean, Sigismar, like, already did pretty well at events. Like, it was always, like, top 16, sometimes top 8. And it's really just that, like, free advantage. I don't know what you're cloth cocooning. Oh, okay. They know that they aren't gonna move, right? They should have cloth cocooned something on this side because they were blocking me. I do want to show this picture of Chopper. She does this all the time where she'll fold her ears over her head. Might be really hard to see. It's probably going to be too hard to see. Wait, we're doing it. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Yeah. And it's so funny. Like a little devil. Welcome back, everyone. Those were some games with a Pauper or common only Sigismar deck. In terms of the deck list, I think like most common only decks in this game, the struggle is card advantage. The struggle for any common only deck right now is either card advantage or disruption. This one's card advantage by like a mile. I only have one card that draws cards. I know there's at least one more character that does it, but it didn't really fit the plan of the deck that well. But you could definitely tweak the deck to fit that card in. So common card advantage, common resupply and Ordis is something that I don't know if they plan on giving Ordis, but like that would be a big help too. And that's really it. The deck played the way I thought it would play, which for a Pauper deck I think is like the only thing you can ask for. We're going to talk about the first game a little bit because I think it's important to understand where I'm coming from and like my intentions. So if you watch the first game, there's a very massive misplay in the first game because I play this game so much and I get Kellon Burst and Sticky Note Seals mixed up. Even when I'm looking at the cards, my brain just like refuses to understand how they work. So I misplayed with Sticky Note Seals, and basically it fizzled because there wasn't a legal target for me to put back into the reserve because I got the cost requirement of the card confused. Now, I could have kept playing more games to have a game where I don't misplay, but I think it's important as someone who makes gameplay for a new game where people are trying to like play at stores. Basically, everyone is a new player. I make new player, casual, focused gameplay. I want people to see that misplays happen. Professional players in every card game misplay all the time. That's why they spend so much time practicing the same deck over and over again, and they'll still misplay. Sometimes you're having a bad day. Sometimes you just don't know the way an interaction works exactly within the rules, and that's totally fine. So that's why I'm leaving that game in. I know like I might get YouTube comments saying like, oh, you misplayed really bad. Trust me, I'm aware. I know that misplay probably cost me the game, or it made me lose harder than I would have lost, but I want to show players that it's okay. You just pick up your deck, you just click play again, and you just keep going, and you'll learn the deck and you'll remember how the cards work eventually. Especially if you don't do what I do and you consistently play the same deck, you will improve at it. And I think like improving is the most important thing. So anyway, that's enough for my misplay rant. I hope everyone enjoyed the gameplay. Thank you, chat, for being here and indulging. We had some good rants today, actually. YouTube, thank you for watching. If you want to like and subscribe, you're always welcome to. It's greatly appreciated. Feel free to leave a comment below. If tell stories about misplays you've done. That would probably be like really good for people to see. Just knowing that other people make mistakes in these complicated games. But I'm gonna head out from here. I hope everyone's having a good time. I hope you're having a good life, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.